All right, guys. So in this podcast, anything that we discuss is going to be purely for educational, entertainment purposes only. Never do anything discussed on any performance-enhancing drugs, any medical inputs, nutrition, training. All of these things should always be discussed with a medical professional first. Nothing in this podcast is advice on what you should personally do. It's purely just for our own discussion, our own entertainment and educational purposes only, our own personal uses. Never do anything without discussing with a doctor first. Don't be silly, be smart. Now we can get stuck into the podcast. That's a great way to start. So, guys, welcome. Today, as promised, we are doing a little, basically, podcast interview with Mario himself over the last...
It's not Mario, it's Malo. You guys know me as Malo. He knows me as Mario. Come on, bro. You can't...
so we're going to collab this on the channel.
You can't give away the actual name.
Malo's audience is massive in the beat making world, right? So this is one of the reasons why we're doing this, is because over the last 6 months, as you know, or you've probably noticed that Mario, I'm going to keep saying Mario because your name's Mario, and I'll see if I can remember to say Malo. So yeah, obviously you've probably noticed that he's gone through a pretty epic transformation over the last 6 months, a seriously epic transformation, of which we will today go into in full detail. So you know absolutely everything that took place to make that happen. And we'll go deep into it all, like thoughts and feelings from day one all the way up until now. Mario came into this from absolute beginner level, basically with a few years of training under his belt, but just like all of us when we started, just another gym rat, just going to the gym, lifting some weights and just having a good time and not really sure if it's right or wrong. You're just training to keep fit and hopefully that's enough. But in 99.99999% of cases, that usually leads to absolutely zero results or very minimal results because the systems just aren't in place. So it's going to be a really good insight today, getting Mario's thoughts and feelings on transitioning from just another gym rat with no real plan to having all of those structures and programs and everything in place, and seeing how rapidly that did change how he looks and feels day by day. And it's in real time. So it's a little bit different than an online observation like most of my clients, because I've obviously been with Mario in Vegas for the whole time. But that makes it very cool and very fresh in my mind on some of the little interactions and conversations we've had along the way, and a lot of the questions and changes and things you've been through. And I think right now, 6 months is a really good time to kind of just let's have a look back over the last 6 months and break it down. Because I don't think many people really do this. Like, here's a full, absolute breakdown of the last 6 months of how Mario went through this insane transformation. And the reason why I keep saying insane and epic and stuff like that is because it's not normal. Like, it's this level of transformation and this amount of time isn't something that happens with every one of my clients. Very rarely does it happen like this, and there's huge genetic factors involved in that. But the processes of how I go about this are very similar with most people, depending on their individual needs, and it's important to understand that individuals can have very, very different responses and reactions to these inputs. So we will go over everything, all the questions that I know you all have. What's Mario taking? What kind of secret training style is he doing? What crazy diet regime is he doing?
Yeah,
how many tens of miles is he running every morning
sweating
before his
gear out of my pores?
He does an ice bath. He does a red light sauna. He prays to the sun gods as the sun rises. He does tantric yoga. All of this before 5 a.m. And then he snorts 7 lines of granola. And then
it hits.
You will, by the end of this, you will either see things through Mario's eyes and you'll go, that's exactly where I'm at and I'm ready to take this on. Or you'll probably go, I don't know if I can put in as much effort as Mario did. I don't know if I can really buy into it that much. In which case, you get out of this what you put in. That's not to say you shouldn't try. That's not to say you shouldn't try and start your transformation. But understanding that realistic expectations based on your inputs are very, very important. And also the genetic factors. There's only one Mario. Just so you can see how dramatic that can be. And we're talking what Mario did in 6 months. For me, who I have good genetics, but that kind of transformation, took me probably, for the level of development and fat loss and stuff like that, with the amount of inputs and things in place, probably double that time. For me, if I remember right back to my first year of kind of like first inputs, newbie gains, like a year, for most people with reasonable genetics, you're talking, a few years, 2 to 3 years plus of progress that he's managed to do in 6 months. That's how extreme this is. And that goes to show just how different people's genetics can be. And we will go into all of that as we go through it. But that was a long intro. Sorry.
I look, for at least from my background, because I think it's easier, like if somebody is similar to me, right? Because I've been going to the gym for a few years, and like he said, like the way I would go to the gym is I would just show up. I don't have no diet, no plan, no strategy. It's just, hey, I'm going to do arms today, or I'll just do legs. If there's a machine available, I'll hop on that, whatever I feel like doing. So I've been doing that for probably like 10 years. So I've been hitting the weights for a long time, but never with some type of structure or game plan. Other than the last 6 months that we got on an actual like routine, which shows how powerful it is to have an actual coach, a structure, a type of diet or game plan, because what I've done in 6 months looks like something that I've been doing for years versus wasting my time for 10 years, just showing up looking like I don't really lift or I don't really go into the gym. So it's been super helpful. So for me, I'm 35 years old, and when we got connected with Aaron, I have a kid, I'm married. I would tell him, like, man, by the time it's like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., I'm done. Like, my brain is dead. I don't want to, like, when it comes down to any type of energy thing, I'm pretty tired. I do my workouts in the morning. So it's just kind of like where I was with my life physically. I was pretty just like skinny fat type of look. And mentally, and the way I felt, like just very tired. Like I would wake up every morning, I need to have my cup of coffee. I actually just posted today, and I had my first cup of coffee today in like 4 to 5 months. And everybody's like, why haven't you drank coffee? Like, you just not doing caffeine? I'm just like, I don't need it. Like, I just haven't felt like, obviously I do my pre-workout, but it just shows like how different, not just physically, but also mentally and energy-wise, this 6-month transformation has been. So now when I wake up and I'm there, I'm up. I'm not like groggy or like I need coffee or anything like that. So
it's good that it's a really good thing to take notice of as well, because a lot of people are just like, I just want abs. I want abs and I want to be able to do a titty bounce. And that's all they're interested in. Oh, you can do it now. Nice work.
Almost.
And, and they don't take time to pay attention to all the other positive changes that are happening, because fat loss takes time. It just takes time, and it's one of those things for some people. Stubborn body fat areas can stick around till the bitter end. And you're like, why? I'm lean here, I'm lean there, but I still don't have abs. Like, it happens to people all the time. But then if I sit someone down and I'm like, okay, let's just ignore that for a minute, and let's make a list of all the other amazing things that have happened and how you feel, day to day, like you said, energy, libido, skin, hair, all of these things, like little things, and you end up with a long ass list of, I kind of didn't even think about that, but all of these things have changed. Yeah. These are all massive progress wins. It's not all about the physical look.
It affects the people you love, and it affects them. Like my wife, obviously, she's loving life right now with me. My daughter, she's now playing with me, and I have energy to play with her. So it affects the people that truly care about me and that I care about as well. Yeah. So it is something that I'm like, dang, man, had I done this sooner? Like I should have stepped up, and just honestly, it's a challenge to myself, because it's something that you have to do for yourself. It's not because you want to please other people, because if you do it for yourself, that's when you're going to commit to it. And actually, like, everybody has a threshold of tolerance. That's the way I see it. And for me, the way I used to look, which was a little bit more of a skinny fat look, I was like, oh, I can tolerate it. As long as I don't go over that, I'll be okay. That was my tolerance, until I was like, you know what? Nah, I can do more and I can push myself more. And I want a physical challenge. Most of the stuff that I do, I edit videos. And when I'm not editing videos for work, when it's me time, I make beats. So I'm sitting down on a desk for hours. Actually, when I got my watch and I counted my steps, my daily steps before me exercising was about 2,000 to 3,000 steps.
Yeah,
so
which is pathetic.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. So I was like, man, that's my daily activities.
It's good. It's really nice to hear, because that is the response from everyone. Everyone that does not quit, everyone that sticks to the plan, whether it takes them 6 months or 6 years.
Yeah,
I can guarantee one thing: if you don't quit, you will have these exact same thoughts and feelings. Like, I'm so glad I did it. Like, every part of my life changed for the positive. Everyone around me is happier and healthier, and I'm encouraging and inspiring my family, my kids, and my colleagues. And like, right now, look how many people that are music fans in your world that are coming to you now asking, "Hey, what's happened to you? Why do you look so good? How do I get to look that good?"
And I'm not no nutritionist, no fitness coach, or anything like that. I don't, and actually talking about that, I did get a bunch of questions on Instagram, like, hey man, like, what do you do for abs, or what do you do for... I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, I really am like a novice when it comes down to dieting, workouts. And that's where a coach helps so much, especially for someone that has life going on, that has a job, a family, and then is like, dang, now I got to figure out diets. I got to figure out supplements. I got to figure out workouts. Like, I don't got time for that. Get a coach that has time for that, where I don't have to think about, what do I take? How much, what vitamins should I drink? Like, I don't think about that stuff. Like, a coach will do that for you. And for me, is easy. It's easy. Everything that we've done through the 6
right?
is because it's there. Like, I don't have to think about, like, how much rice should I eat, or how much chicken, or this. Like, everything is there. The only reason why I would fail is because I don't want to do the work. So as long as I show up for myself, I'm just seeing 1 + 1 = 2. Like, I just need to show up and do the math, and it's easy. But a lot of people say, like, oh, the whole dieting thing is hard and all that stuff. It is hard, but what makes it easy is you just have to follow the plan.
It's only hard for a short time, though, isn't it?
Well, it's hard in like the first 2 months is tough, because it's like, man, is this worth it? Like, you have to have faith and believe that, just stick to it, and then you'll see it. I started seeing it like in the 4th month, where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see, I see some differences. So then it becomes easy, because you start noticing change, and you pick up momentum from there.
Yeah. And as well, that's a really important part of it as well, is just being able to follow plans.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything. A lot of people get so caught up in paralysis by analysis. They're trying to learn everything and applying nothing. And it's like, stop trying to learn everything. Start with applying. Hire someone who does already know what they're doing and how to program for you. Follow plans. And as you're following the plans, ask the questions. Learn about it as you're doing it. Don't just try to think, I'm going to learn it all, then I'm going to do it. You'll never do it. You know what? You won't. You'll end up down a YouTube rabbit hole for years and years and years, looking in the mirror going, I still look the same, which is a massive majority of people that are interested in fitness on the internet. That is what most people are doing. They're like,
it's
oh,
frustrating.
damn it. And then they hire a coach, and 6 months goes by and they're like, damn it, why didn't I just start with this?
Yeah, no,
and
it's frustrating.
Everyone has that exact same response, yet people still convince themselves like, I don't want to spend a few $100 on a coach. I can do this myself. No, you can't. No, you can't, because if you could, you would have done it already.
Well, that's
and
the
you
thing.
didn't.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing with me. I had been working out for like 10 years, and I'm like, dang, man, I look the same. Like, so it's frustrating. So sometimes I would think like, why am I even showing up? Or I'll be working out and I'll be like, I'm just gonna go home,
right, and
because
that's
it's
why
like I look the
that's why
same,
people
man. Like
quit.
maybe my body. This is what I would think. All right, maybe my body, because I'm older now. I'm not a young. I'm not in my 20s. So I used to think,
Age.
all right, this is cool. As I like this, I'm not gonna get more. I'm not going to improve from where I'm at because of my age, but I was like okay with it because I was like, as long as I don't let myself go, I'm okay. If I can conform with this, so that's why I would keep showing up. But I thought like my age, and then I thought like my genetics. I was like, oh, maybe my genetics is like this is the most I can push. So that was me capping myself. Obviously, once I got surrounded by people that are much more knowledgeable than I am, then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, dude, like,
I'm old as shit, bro.
yeah. So it just kind of. I was like, wait a minute, no, I'm on my prime. Like I can push myself a lot more. So
You are absolutely are 35, dude. Prime.
Yeah.
That's for physique goals, like bodybuild. If like we're not talking bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding level stuff here, but as an example, like prime bodybuilding physiques were like mid 30s into the 40s, and that's. But you're right. A lot of people look at age because of old stigmas and things like that. Once you're out of college sports and stuff, that's it. You're done. There's pointless trying from there to improve on physical health and performance. What's the point? Just work a job, try not to die, and try to live long enough to pay off your mortgage and see your kids off to college.
So you see some of your uncles, your friends, people around you, and it's like, oh, that person got married, he has kids, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what happened to this person? So like, you see that a lot, So I'm like, dang, as long as I don't let myself go, I'll be okay. Like if I can just hold myself where I'm at right here, I was like skinny fat. I was like, I'm totally fine right here. But now when I go back and I see my photos, I'm like, whoa, like that's how I looked.
Yeah.
So
but age has nothing to do
crazy.
with it. Age plays a factor. Yeah, it does, but not like we're talking later. Later, it plays a factor, but even if you have no athletic background, it doesn't matter. It's never too late to make a massive change and add years of quality life onto your lifespan and improve yourself and everyone else around you. And it starts with you making that decision. But yeah, the idea of I'm too old to even try, like. I could have thought that. I started bodybuilding at 30 years old. 30.
Really?
Most of the guys around me that were like really good and turning pro were like young, mid-20s. And I'm like, damn it, I missed my chance.
Yeah.
And I thought that. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to try it anyway and see what happens. I'll give it a couple of years and see if my body responds. Guess what? Got a coach.
Yeah. It honestly
followed plans.
It feels like I got a reset in my 30s now, right? So like that's how I feel. Like I reset my whole entire life.
You're anti-aging is what is happening realistically. If you were to look at probably your overall health, the picture of your overall health before you started, and if you look at that on a cellular level, like mitochondrial health and all of this, everything, if you looked at everything and then you looked at it now, I guarantee you've probably dropped your biological age. You're probably way healthier, and there's way more years added onto your life now.
Well, that's what I used to think. Like even before all this, and I've talked to other people, whereas like you remember how I was saying like by 2 p.m. I was already tired. It was like I was done for the day.
Yeah.
It's like dude, it's barely 2 p.m. I thought that was normal. And it's like, oh, this is just life now. Like this is what they say. You're getting older, right? So I thought like this is normal now. But then when I reset my life, so like the eating part, supplementation and all that stuff, I realized I'm like, no, man, I got way more like, no, I was tripping. Like that's not my life. So I don't know. And I say this because a lot of us, if you're going through something like that, where you feel like, man, I'm just dead, like tired, brain dead, is not normal. And for me, I would conform to it as like, I guess this is just life, right? So now being able to just elevate my health and like supplementation, food and all that stuff, I feel like, nah, hell no, that was not normal. So it's just awesome to kind of get informed because sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I always use there as a very quick confirmation of that, like, oh wait, what you thought was normal is not normal and it can change fast, is hydration stuff. So the vast majority of people that come to me with no real background of tracking, programming or anything, they're like, I'm like, well, how much water do you drink a day? The answer will be, I don't know, like a couple of these size bottles and a few coffees and an energy drink or something. And they're probably hitting maybe 2.5 liters a day as a fully grown adult.
Probably less than a
which
liter.
are also working jobs and doing stuff and blah, blah, blah. You were drinking even less.
I was all coffee,
So one of the,
energy drinks, and maybe like 3 cups of water.
Right. And what's
like,
the first thing that we did? Straight away, before
kicked me in-
we did any programs, I just
kicked
said
me
to
in
you,
with four.
your watch.
You had told me 4 liters of water, which I was like, never. Like,
Not
there's
gonna
no
happen.
way I'm gonna ever drink 4 liters of water. You said you just do it, and then vitamins. You kicked me with like vitamin
Just
C,
some basics.
D, and I was like,
Yeah.
vitamins. Like, this is kind of boring. Give me the real stuff, right? So I was like, dang, all right, whatever. And food. You put me on a
But before
diet.
we even get to the food side of things, we were just talking in the gym. Like you were filming me and Jared in the gym, and you were feeling this kind of way. And I noticed like you had skin flare ups and all sorts of stuff.
So
which
now
for me
I'll
is
put-
always a big thing on like hydration.
I'll put like, you guys will see. I'm gonna put some like old videos of me. Like, my skin was really bad. Like, I had a bunch of scarring on my skin. So we would always. So Aaron, I film Aaron and Jared for Jared's channel, but you would always tell me like, hey man, like, I'll put you on my email list, and I'll help you out and all that stuff. I kind of was like, all right, cool. I'll let you know, because I know if I say yes to someone, I'm gonna commit to it. I'm not gonna waste nobody's time.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I would have kind of brushed it off.
Yeah,
I think
but that's why I didn't force you to do it.
No, yeah,
If if someone's going to do it, I want them to want to do it.
Exactly.
I don't want them to
Yeah.
be
So that's
forced
why
into
I
it
said
and
like,
then do it.
I'm not gonna say yes unless I'm like, all right, I really think about it and I'm gonna commit myself to it. But I remember, we were talking about it the other day, where it hit me the day that you looked at me and you said, you probably didn't feel much on that, but it hit me really deep when you looked at me and you're like, dude, just give me 6 months and I promise you I will change your life around. That right there was like, that's what clicked. And I was like, this motherfucker, man, like, really? He just said that. And it just kind of stayed in my head, and I was like,
Dude's got some balls.
Yeah,
That's a big statement.
Who's this guy to tell me that, right? So it just kind of like rang on me, and I was like, 6 months, and I was like, dang, that's fast.
that's
You
not
know,
a lot
like,
of time.
if I could just change the way I look right now within like 6 months, if I can commit to it, let's go, right? So I think after like the 3rd or 4th month is where I just noticed, I was like, let's go. Like I fell in love with it, and I was like, yeah, it's not 6 months yet, and I already feel completely different. So
Right.
that
So
was powerful. Yeah.
And I'm glad that worked. That's my like. I gotta sell
Yeah.
this guy. Like, I gotta say something that's gonna spark them. I say that to people all the time because it's the absolute truth. And even if it's like 6 months goes by and you're not ripped and shredded and you have abs, I'll still change. Your life still
Yeah.
will have changed.
Well,
you would have built so many
that
habits.
because this is your world. You know this stuff like the back of your hand. Like with me on an MPC, right? With my machine sampling, I'm so confident with that, man. Like I'm like, I can promise you and I can guarantee you, because that is my language. So when I think about diets and workouts, I'm like, oh man, I don't know, really, for real. But that's your world.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, when
So I
you
said,
tell me
if I
that-
gave you 6 months, would I be a good beat maker? Would I be able to
Yeah,
make some solid
like,
beats and understand how to use all of your equipment? In 6 months, you would say,
Of course, as long as you have the hunger for it and you're willing to, like, man, I
as long as you
want
commit,
this. So
right?
yeah,
As long as you
exactly.
commit and you're consistent.
Same thing with me. If I was gonna tell you yes, but I was like, oh man, I don't want to do my cardio or I don't want to do that. Like, then it's like, of course,
Yeah, I would have been
same
like-
thing. Yeah, same thing with
man.
beat making or anything like that. If anybody wants to learn, they're gonna pay a price for it. Of like, man, I'm willing to sacrifice time out of my day to learn it. Sit down, whether it's you watch YouTube videos, watch a course, or whatever it is, one-on-one mentorship, you're going to learn it, But if you're just kind of like, it's kind of like a hobby on the side, then that's cool too. Do it on the side. But I went into it 1,000%. I was like,
that's
I'm
the
going to
big
go
thing,
all
yeah.
in.
Now, this is one of the big things I need people to realize as well, because they see your transformation. And I've had clients reach out to me and say, hey, is there something I'm not doing that Mario's doing that I need to be doing? Because his transformation is crazy. And I've been at this for like almost a year now, or over a year, and I haven't got those kinds of results. And that's when I have to have that difficult conversation with people saying, here's a couple of realities. One, Mario works way harder than you. Mario is all in. I don't have to question or correct his training or anything like. It took us a while to get to that point, right? But I know for a fact that I can trust in that progression and that you will pick up, you will listen, and you will learn, and you will apply straight away. I know you're not slipping up on your diet. It was 3 months before you even thought about asking for a cheat meal.
It's like, hey man, when can I eat a burger, man?
You didn't even say that for like 3 months in, and even then it was like kind of miss it in and out a little bit, and I'm like,
let's throw one in.
Go ahead. But and then just your overall attitude towards it, I could see that you were like, this wasn't a chore. This wasn't like, I hope I can just kind of add this as a bit of an add-on to my life and it's just going to magically transform my life. No, you had to prioritize it. This had to become an extreme big chunk of your day-to-day life and the way you thought about it. You approached this like a bodybuilder would approach this, which most people don't, which is absolutely fine, by the way. I don't ever I don't ask people to, I want you to go from normal everyday life like you have now to I'm a full-time all-in on this bodybuilder attitude. That's not realistic for some people. You're fortunate we live in the same place, but you have your own business.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm able to do it. I can eat whenever I want.
Yeah, exactly. So very different circumstances, and these are circumstances people need to understand and be realistic with.
Yeah.
Because I do have to program. Some people work like multiple jobs, and they still get the work done. I've had some people that work crazy shifts, military guys that are overseas here, there, and everywhere all the time. People that work unbelievable work schedules, and it's difficult to manage, but they still get the job done. So there's no excuse. You either really want it or you don't. That's always going to remain true. But I don't expect someone to be 100% sacrifice everything apart from this, which you also didn't. You're a family guy first. You have your business, which is your main income and things like that. This is priorities for sure. And then we plan and schedule around it. And we build programs around people's schedules so it's sustainable, something you can do.
Which
I'm not
I remember
give
I told you.
programs that are impossible for you to do.
You had
I'm
given
not
me
tell someone
like
who works a 9 to 5 to train. You have to train at 3 o'clock every day. And they're like, well, I'm at work. And I'm not going to say, well, tough shit.
Which has what was helpful is I was going to say that too. You had started me with 5 meals a day, so I was eating 5 times a day, and to me, I was like, that's a lot of food, right? Like it's just a lot of me having to do the whole plates and all that stuff. So I was like, hey man, like can we just
do this
cut
in
it?
4?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, easy. Let me just adjust your meal plan. And for me, I was like, dang, this is easy. Like I can do that. Like if I could do 3 or 4 meals a day, and we can divide everything like. That's cake. So it became easier for me, but all it took is just a quick adjustment, right? So I'm pretty sure anybody else that has a job, has to go to a certain place is like, all right, let's work around that, but we'll still make it happen.
Yeah, and that's just back and forward communication. It's never going to be my way or the highway. It's always going to be let's figure this out. Let's find out what's the most sustainable way. Let's find out the way that allows you to be the most consistent day to day.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be what's going to produce results. It's just consistently ticking boxes day in, day out. And it's little boxes, little habits. For you, that first month before we even got started, when I was like, start tracking your water intake. And there were some people that said, don't bother, waste of time. And I was like, so I know for a fact some people need to be accountable for every little habit. And tracking, which means doing this. Every time you drink a shaker cup full of water, half a liter, you hit a button on your watch, done.
Yeah.
And then you do it again. And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I hit 3.5 liters. I'm only half a liter away from my target. And then we're like, okay, now let's start introducing a little bit more, like, where are you feeling thirsty? Let's introduce a little bit more water around the workout where it's easier to stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about you. You're very, very on the dot with everything, which at first might seem tedious, but now, like we were just talking about this, I was like, I know my body so good. Where if I'm feeling a little weird, or I can track like, why do I feel bloated, or why do I feel this? Like, ooh, I know why. I tweak. So like it's kind of scary in a way because I get to know my body so good. If anything feels off, I know why. Yeah. Oh, because I had this yesterday. So that's the scary part, but it's actually pretty cool because everything. Oh, I didn't drink enough water, right? Versus back then, I would eat whenever I would just eat, And so if I felt a certain way, I don't know what made me feel like that.
You just
now, if it's like I feel flat or I feel this or I'm feeling like way more pumped today, I know exactly why. Versus I'm like, oh, I'm tracking everything day by day. If I need to adjust anything, I know
Super easy.
I know how to go back. So now after a while of doing it, it becomes actually very good.
And now we're at a point now where you're like, oh, I'm feeling a certain kind of way today. And then instead of me just quizzing you about, well, what do you reckon it is? And you'd be like, you know what? I had some family in town. We ate this and we ate that. It was 2 meals off plan.
Yeah.
It was this kind of food. And I was probably a little bit under my water targets for a couple of days in a row. And then you're like, yeah, that's what it is. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You're just a bit out of whack.
that's the
You had
part
some
that's
really
cool.
high sodium meals. Your water's lower. You have really high sodium meals. You're having a little bit of water retention and you feel a little bit heavier, a little bit bogged down.
Yeah.
That's it. What happens next day? Get back on track, hit your water goals, one normal day back on diet.
Yeah.
One normal day of water
out.
intake.
Yeah.
The next day you show up to the gym, you're like, I feel great. This is not. I know exactly what it was.
Yeah, which is that's why I think is really cool to track everything because
Well, it's a learning
you
process.
know, you know
it's
exactly
not just for me
your body.
knowing the numbers. Like
Yeah.
I don't have to track everything you do. I want you to do it so you pick up on those things. And then as you get these responses and reactions, like, damn, the pumps today were just extra epic.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? And I'm like, yesterday was your refeed day, right? And you were like, yeah. I'm like, well, this is why, because we have more glycogen storage, more fuel, blah, blah, blah. And we talk about these very simple mechanisms. We don't have to go into the in-depth sciences of everything, just a basic understanding. Like, if you do this, this is likely what's going to happen the next day. If you don't hit this target, this is probably going to be the response of that.
Yeah.
And little things, and that might be just a handful of frequently happening things in your day-to-day life. So when those things that typically do happen, you know exactly why, how to fix them, how to respond. I don't need to tell you to do that anymore. You just do it. You know exactly what to do to fix those frequently happening issues. And they're not really issues. They're fluctuations, which are totally normal for day-to-day life, unless you're 100% the same every single day, day in, day out, which for most people is not realistic.
Yeah.
So understanding those fluctuations takes the stress away because you don't panic because you understand why they're happening and you understand it's a very minimal input thing that it takes to fix those. Right? But so, building these habits to start with made a huge impact, right? And straight away going from being dehydrated to tracking your water, within a week? You were going, I feel different, man. I feel different.
Yeah,
because the first thing I noticed with you is your face flares and your scarring started to
huge difference.
Clear a bit.
Yeah.
You were not as watery. You were feeling better. You had more energy. All of a sudden, you were like, I don't really need that coffee in the morning anymore because you're not chronically dehydrated. Most people go their entire lives chronically dehydrated and they don't even know it. They never even had the thought in their mind of, am I dehydrated? They've never been told. They don't know the difference.
I never thought. I don't even know what that meant.
No one does. No one does no one knows until they know. And they only know until I say, I just want you, no matter what, to try and hit double the amount of water you drink now for a week. And then the next week after that, we're going to add a half a litre. The week after that, we're going to add another half a litre. Before you know it, drinking 4 litres a day is going to be a walk in the park. You're not even going to think about it. You're going to do it. But you're going to gradually just kind of feel this way like, yeah, my sleep is better. My energy is better. I'm not drowsy and sleepy through the day. Obviously, there's lots of things.
My pumps are better.
those bumps are better.
Those bump good.
Yeah, people are like, oh, my libido's low.
I'm getting old.
Maybe drink a little bit of water.
Like, wait a minute.
No, your pumps are just suck and your boners are crap.
You're dehydrated, man.
Yeah, that's
the wife has got to say like, "Hey, honey, you're dehydrated. Get some water."
I should put that in the people's Q&A when they start. Can I get your wife's description of your boners?
There you go.
Yeah, they're kind of like not really all the way there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're not drinking enough water.
This guy needs some water and some carbs for sure.
Yeah, so that's actually been. I think that was even before we got into just the whole hormones and like the TRT and all that stuff. It was more, let's just get your water up.
Yeah.
And let's, your vitamins and all that stuff.
Let's get a baseline. Let's just get basic health
For
foundations.
Me, I was
habits.
like, oh man, like let's get to the good stuff. I was kind of more like, all right, can we just kind of skip all that? And I remember
how important was it?
Yeah,
to get
you were
those
very
foundations?
like, nah, I'm not going to talk to you about that until I get your blood work done and we at least get the foundation right.
Yeah.
For me, I was kind of like, all right, cool.
But then a month flies by, and because you went into it 1,000%. That foundation didn't take 6 months to build. It took a month.
Yeah.
And in that month, you were already looking better. You were already training way better. You were already losing weight. You were already on track. So everything else we add from there is just going to accelerate and make that whole process better as long as we do it right. and you're not going to need, you were already building momentum. So you're like, I just need a little bit of extra fuel on the fire here. You're not in a position where you're stagnant and you want to go from 0 to 100 mile an hour, and then you just throw the kitchen sink at yourself and hopefully something works, which is what most people do because they haven't built foundations and haven't created any momentum. They're just stagnant. Well, they've been lazy and they've skipped the important shit, and they think that if I just pile in the drugs hard from the start, that's going to allow me to find out the foundations won't matter. And they absolutely do, because one of the first things was your training as well. Let's get your training up to par. Let's start looking a little bit more about your training intensity, your volume, your programming. We've rewritten all of your programming, the RP app, making sure that we're getting your volume inputs right, making sure that you are gradually building towards a good understanding of where your realms of failure really are. That took a while. That took more like 3 months, I think, to figure that out.
That was a huge thing.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I think what we've just done now is a really good summary of that first month, which was all about communication, being mentally in the right place to be like, okay, I'm going to commit, and then just putting foundations in place. Nothing serious, nothing stressful, just some day-to-day goals and some foundations and just something to build on. Yeah. And then we move into month 2. And month 2, that's when let's get some blood work done. Let's start looking at what's the lowest hanging fruits here that we can put in place to optimize your health, your longevity, your performance, your recovery. Again, what can we just sprinkle onto these foundations to get things moving and be very careful, manage things appropriately. Yeah. And when people ask me this all the time, like how to approach TRT, well, bloods. Always never go into this blind. Get blood work done. To kind of fast track this bit is very, very simple. Get bloods done. Mario's bloods were average at best. Pretty crappy. Mario's 35 years old. That's totally normal. After the age of 30, your natural hormones very gradually start to decline, especially if you're not very high-performing kind of athlete. You're on top. If you're on top of your nutrition, you're living like an athlete, you're very health conscious, maybe they'll be absolutely fine, which I've seen plenty of times. But for most people who are taking care of their family, they're working really hard, there's certain levels of stresses and things in place, you're not really taking care of your food and your hydration or your exercise and stuff like that, your natural testosterone levels are going to decline, and with that just comes all of these feelings of lethargy, low energy, low libido, just low motivation. I
had all of those symptoms except for the libido part. My wife's always been like, "No, man, this guy's gonna be way too crazy," but everything else, I was crashed. Everything else,
Mario has a very healthy sexual relationship, which is really refreshing to see. But that is another episode and another conversation that we should do about healthy relationships, how to keep marriages
we'll do that
alive.
one on your podcast.
How long have you been married? How long have you been together?
For 10 years.
Right?
Yeah, for like 10, for 10 years.
Married for?
No, we've been married for like 9 years. Been together for like 10 years. Yeah.
So it's the same. Me and the missus, 10 years, married for 6. Really healthy. It still feels like honeymoon period.
Yeah, you don't want to get married and be like, all right, cool. Now we're the married people. Like, nah, man, like I want to feel good, man. We're young. No,
set schedules for date night. Oh, it's my birthday. I get a blowjob once a year.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing, being married, if anybody watching this, like you're married, you got kids, you know that it becomes just the life.
Is constantly improve on yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. If I can improve on myself, that reflects on the way I am with my girl. Same thing with her. She saw me improving and she's like, oh, wait a minute. Like he's,
So
like
I'm
let me
coaching both Mario and his wife now.
Yeah. So
and I do that a lot. That happens
and it's
so
awesome,
much,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
I'll take on one person, and within a few months, they're like, "Oh, my husband or my
wife."
Well, yeah,
because the partner is like, "Oh wait, hold up! Like, I gotta step." Dude. So well, that's what I meant in the beginning. Like, you influence the people that are around you in a very positive way. Anybody watching this will, even my daughter. Like she, weirdly enough, she likes chicken and rice. Like no seasoning on this. It's so weird, man.
Weren't her and Evie talking about building training plans at some point?
No, she likes just chicken and rice. She likes her vegetables, So it's pretty cool to see her doing that.
But kids are observant, man.
Yeah, she knows all these terminologies.
She pays attention. She knows you're getting jacked and more fit and healthier.
Yeah,
kids pick up on everything.
Yeah,
And they know,
it's-
oh, my dad
Yeah,
eats,
so
my
you
dad
yeah,
doesn't
you
eat junk
affect
food. He
you
doesn't go
affect
to
all
Chick-fil-A
that.
5 days a week, you know, and we spend family time. The kids pick up on everything.
And by the way, my daughter eats ice cream. She has
a
her
normal
candy.
kid.
She is a kid, right? I'm not putting creatine on her stuff, but it's cool for her to see it and just be around it as she grows older. It's just like, oh, that's my dad. You know, that's my mom. This is his and her work ethic at work and also in their personal life. And I think that's something that I don't want to tell my daughter, but is more like I would show my daughter.
They'll
And,
pick up on
yeah,
it. You don't need
exactly.
to teach that stuff. If you're a good family tight unit, they'll pick up on it.
Yeah.
Kids are smart. But anyway, yeah, we'll do a whole relationship podcast one time. I think we've probably got some good insights there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so building up those really good foundations, blood work into TRT inputs. So with Mario, very suboptimal kind of testosterone levels. So we're looking at a lot of those symptoms, that lethargy, that low energy, that low motivation, that like, oh, I can't be bothered to get up and change my life. These things are a lot that you can change all of those things without TRT. But I mean,
Yeah, I started feeling. I already had feeling all that before we jumped into TRT. And I was like, "Hey, babe, like I'm feeling a lot better now."
Yeah, because you got your foundations in place for sure. And there's no reason why you can't improve all of those markers naturally. You absolutely can improve those markers naturally, but you're probably not going to optimize naturally. And at 35 years old, it's a no-brainer not to optimize in the best way possible. If this was a 20-year-old Mario, I'd be like, let's not even look at TRT. Let's see what we can do with a good year of just really good habits. Let's try and get you up to speed, feeling amazing naturally, because you're still young enough for that testosterone level to naturally rise. After 30, naturally rising testosterone levels become more and more unrealistic. And testosterone replacement therapy is probably the best, healthiest thing that you can do for your overall health, your longevity, and obviously physical, mental performance and stuff as well. So just as a general health input, after the age of 30, if your testosterone levels aren't great, what is the healthiest thing that you can possibly do for your body? Diet, everything else aside, TRT is the gold standard for becoming healthier, feeling better, feeling like a man again, having some oomph. And if that gets you into a motivational state to then attack your diet and your training, great, I'm all for it. If you can put those foundations in place first, even better. But if you're really struggling just to get off the sofa because your testosterone levels are just in the toilet,
that's how I felt.
then
felt.
fix the basics. And then a lot of people say you have to get lean first. No, you don't. You don't have to get lean first. You might actually find it really difficult to get lean if your testosterone levels are super low. So I'm like, just fix the root cause of the vast majority of problems straight away. And for males, a lot of the time, it is just a quick, simple blood work panel, phone call to the clinic, prescription test, job done, here we go. And we're off to the races, right? So with you, your first input, based on what your blood work was at the time, I suggested, let's go in with 200 milligrams.
Yeah, it was 200.
200 milligrams, a very standard low entry level kind of TRT input. Some people can say a milligram per pound, a milligram per kilo, even some people say. These are all viable options. For Mario, for the environment and foundations that he had built, from my experience as a coach, I felt like that was a really good place for us to enter, which was easy to manage and easy to adjust up and down if necessary, because I knew that 4 weeks after that very first shot, we would be doing more blood work and we would be assessing those numbers and adjusting accordingly. And that's exactly what we did. Nothing else apart from that. It was just TRT only, 200 megs a week. Training continues as normal. Food, diet, the foundations, we just build on them, more and more discipline, time into them. Mario nailed that stuff very early on, so I didn't have to keep like, come on, stop cheating, stop falling off your diet, put more effort into your training. Training was always something that we carried on, sort of pushing you a little bit more and more and more, because I don't expect someone to go from no coaching and no training, or no coached training or programmed training, to go from it's okay, you can get a basic pump to high level, professional level training inputs every time you walk into the gym. It's not realistic. Like everything else you do, you have to learn. And that takes months and months and months. Over the course of, I would say, 3 months, we got you from, average training sessions, which would be enough to keep you fit, but probably not enough to really stimulate change.
Yeah.
So over those 3 months, we just broke down your form, explained a little bit more about how we want you to go through exercises, a little bit more about your exercise selection, your programming. We're going to hit certain muscle groups at certain frequencies across the week. For a general rule of thumb, for what we've done with Mario most of the time is like 5 days training a week, basically push, pull, legs, upper, lower. So we're hitting upper body muscle groups 2 to 3 times a week, lower body 2 times a week. And just leveraging his volume from entry level week 1 volume, which is like, probably 6 or 7 sets per muscle group to start with, gradually building that up over mesocycle after mesocycle, where now you're probably easily, let's say 6, 12, 15-ish, probably like 15 sets of chest per week over 2 chest sessions.
I just do whatever I see on the app, but
Whatever's on the app.
Yeah, I'm probably right there.
And that's probably going to keep increasing up, especially as we move Mario into growth phases where there's more fuel. Right now, we're just trying to maintain. I just want to make sure Mario doesn't hit the wall. And every 6, 7 weeks, we deload, refresh, refeed, keep everything moving along really nicely. And then his training, the main thing about that is his training. I don't have to worry about Mario going to the gym and being like 6 or 7 reps shy of failure when he should be somewhere close to failure. And also the reps in reserve. 3 reps in reserve, then 2, then 1, then 0, then deload, or in whatever order you do that. It's usually 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 0 deload, something like that. I'm not spending too much time worrying about that being accurate. This is Mario's first 6 months. I'm like, just train hard and just get somewhere close to failure. And just be a little bit mindful that your first week back into a mesocycle after a deload, probably don't push max effort. Just leave a few in the tank. And as we get closer and closer to the end of that mesocycle, we're really pushing with the intent of that last week before a deload. That is unquestionable max effort. 0 reps in reserve, absolute failure training. And that's the kind of system we have in place. I'm not like, this is supposed to be 2 reps in reserve, but it looks more like 4 or 5. If he's miles off, I'll tell him, I'm like, hey, you've got more reps, let's go. I've only had to tell you that a handful of times.
Towards the beginning when we started training together, which helped a lot because I thought I was done. And you were like, no, you're not. You got way more. And I'm like, I would have stopped. This is where I was stopping for the past 10 years. This was like my 10th set or whatever, or my 10th rep. And you're like, nope, give me another one. And then until I got to like 17 reps. And I was like, I was going to stop at the 10th rep. So again, like I was capping myself training by myself. I never had a training coach or anything like that. But on my own, I would always stop way too early until I figured like, wait a minute, I had way more. So, like all that stuff came through time training with you, and I would have never hit that.
That is the same for everyone. And you can't beat yourself up about that stuff. That is completely normal. Learning how to push towards failure consistently, the execution, the technique, the mindset that it takes to do that consistently week in, week out, takes time to learn that. That's not something you're going to pick up overnight. That's not something you're just all of a sudden going to be like, okay, I've got it. I've had some clients that will pick that up in a month. A month in, and I'm like, you're training as good as me. Like your training is nails. You don't have to send me any more videos. I know that you are crushing it, and I have that confidence. That execution is perfect. They're so strict on their form. The intensity levels are always, I can see they almost feed off of the need to push, to really push themselves. And you recognize that. And then other people, I recognize that they're really, like as soon as it starts hurting, I can see that they want to quit, and I can see they're gonna quit. And for those people, I've had to do things in different ways to get them to really push past those pain barriers and physically and mentally understand what you have to go through and what it feels like to get to those effective reps. Every rep is effective, but to get to those really close to failure reps where it really tests you and it really hurts and it's really slow and it's nasty, no one wants to get there. Your body doesn't want to get there. You have to force it. And there's various different methods I've used to get people to go there, whether it's get on a video call with someone and scream at them into their earphones in a hack squat, like, don't you fucking dare stop.
Yeah.
Like, if you stop, I'm hanging up and I will cancel your account right now. You're done. Like, those kinds of ultimatums, I'll really, really push them, and they'll thank me every time. Every time, even though it's torture, they'll be like, oh, okay.
Well, remember I flipped you off a few times when we were doing legs in the beginning. And
you were
I was
like, fuck you, man. No fucking way, I can't
Then
do this. And I'm like,
when I
shut
fell
up.
down,
Get
I
back
was
in.
like, bro, I love you, man, but fuck you.
But you only have to do that once or twice with people, because once you felt it once you felt it, you don't just forget, oh, I kind of forgot
You
it.
become familiar.
You don't ever
where it's
forget
like,
that.
okay, this is my new ground.
Yeah,
right
you
here.
never forget that. And every time you fall short of that, you know it's on you. I'm not going to babysit you forever. If I have to keep telling you over and over and over again, like, you're miles off, you're not even close, and I've pushed you to failure, and you know what that feels like. You know what that feels like. And you know you're stopping 5, 6, 7 reps short of that, and you're doing the whole fake failure face is what drives me nuts. It's when people deliberately start slowing down.
I didn't think people would notice
and they fake it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just really hard. And I'm like, shut up. It's not hard, because the rep before that one was full pace,
funny, man.
and all of a sudden it slows down, and
I've
it's the
done
hardest
that
rep in the
before,
world.
yeah.
Shut up. And I will see that. But if I see people doing that, okay, I get it, but I have to change that attitude and that approach to their training very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And if I don't see that, I just drop them. I'm like, sorry, this is
Because you don't
flogging
really,
a dead horse here.
you know, you're not willing to go to those
Yeah, if
limits
you're not
that
willing to-
your body can go.
Yeah, and if you're not willing to be receptive to that push, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Because you have to be willing to challenge yourself.
Which I'm sure that's how you feel as a coach, because it's like, aside from money, it's like it's still time, and it's like I'm not going to waste my time.
Exactly. There's
if
other
this
people I could
person
give this
is,
time
even
to.
though this person's willing to pay me, I don't want to waste my time to like continue to fake help you, because you're helping someone. But if somebody's not willing to learn, it doesn't matter how many millions they'll pay you, they're not going to get to where they think they're going to get to.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's never. Same thing
and
with
I've
me.
had
If I'm
people
helping
that-
someone out, I can't. Like I can feel like, man, these people are hungry for the help,
want it.
and it's like, easy, you got it, man. Like, because I can feel like, dude, and at least from my end, when I teach NPC, I've done a few video calls, we do Zoom calls, and I've seen so many people go from like, they'll text me a month later, like, yo, man, check out this beat I just made, and that feels so cool, man. Like,
The hardest thing about this when it comes to physique stuff, though, is if I practice enough, I'm going to be able to make a beat. It's a skill thing, right? You learn certain techniques and skills, and the result is there. With bodybuilding or any kind of physique transformation, whether you're bodybuilding or you're just looking to get a bit fit or drop a bit of fat, that can sometimes take a very long time.
well,
So
because
the
your
reward-
body's changing every day.
Yeah, but you don't see it. A
That's
lot of
the
people
scary-
don't see it
Yeah.
for a long time, so they don't get that reward system. And they're not paying attention to the rewards that might be in the logbook. They don't pay attention to the rewards of me saying, dude, your training is getting so much better. It's going to produce results. It might not look like it, but it's working. And later on down the line, you're going to see it. However long that takes is, like we said before, huge genetic factors. Some people transform very, very quickly. Some people, it takes a very long time. So when you don't have that instant gratification, like if I go to a boxing class and they teaches me a new combination, and I practice that 20 times in a row during that class, I'm going to know how to do that combination, and it's going to feel good. And I'm going to walk away from that class like, I learned something new. I've now got this extra combination to add to my arsenal. You don't get that from physique transformations. It's lots of very small wins that compound over a very long time.
Yeah, that's what
you
I
don't get instant big
It
gratification.
takes time,
Yeah.
and I think that's what I love about it, though, because it's like,
but some people hate that.
It's a slow process, but it compounds, and I think that's what I fell in love with, because I noticed, like,
I would question if
keep-
you love it if you didn't have your genetics. So this is where you're never going to be able to completely relate with a lot of people, because you have great genetics. This is where a lot of people fall short. As a coach, I've had to see I have good genetics. I can't relate to people with bad genetics. I can now because I've coached hundreds of people with bad genetics and good genetics. So I can absolutely relate to the processes, the timelines, and explain things. But from your point of view, you're like, yeah, that's why I love it. Dude, your transformation happened so quick. Hell yeah, you love it. If your transformation didn't take 6 months, it took 3 years, your attitude towards it would be way different. You might even quit. You never know. And this is where you have to think about more of the wins, like you said before. How is this affecting my overall life? Not just my abs. You have to take all of these other wins.
I remember we talked about that for people that don't have good genetics. Hopefully, they're rational enough to be like, you know what? Cool, I get it. Awesome. It's not good genetics, but at least, like we said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I just want to feel healthy. And as long as I look like I'm put together, I just want to look tight. I think we don't know this language. When you ask me, what's your goal? I don't know. I can't tell you I want to be 10% body fat. Like, I don't know that stuff. I just said, I just want to look tighter.
I want to look better and feel better.
Yeah, I want to look better. I just want to feel tighter. I want to put on a shirt and not feel like I have side titties or anything like that.
But then if you say to me, how long is that going to take?
Well, I remember for me, it was like, if I can commit to something and it can take me 3 to 6 months to at least look like, hey man, you just don't look like a lazy piece of shit,
but
right?
3 to 6 months, I can say, yeah, I can absolutely. You'll see before and after pictures.
For me, because I didn't know my genetics, but
you might only see very small changes, but you will see changes, and that should be enough.
Yeah, but
to go, okay, well, this worked. So if I just keep doing it, it's going to keep working. And with the right programming, that's absolutely what will happen. But the extreme transformation side of things is where it gets difficult for some people because like I said, what you've done in 6 months, I've had clients that it's taken 2 years. It's taken 2 years to get anything close to that. Some guys, it's taken 2 years and they're not even halfway to what you've done. And it's like, that's the reality. But no matter what, in those 2 years, you've still made great progress. You're still improving your overall lifestyle. You're still healthier, fitter,
when you told me
faster,
that, like, give me 3 to 6 months, I didn't expect this. I expected, like, all right, cool. My expectation was way less than this because I thought, like, all right, cool. As long as I could throw on a shirt and, you know, like, look okay with it and not just look like I'm a walking noodle, like, I'll be happy. That's what I felt like. If I can look like that in 6 months, dope. Let's go. This is worth it for me, you know? But obviously, you know, like you start seeing, like you said, you see results and you're just like, oh man, like you get hooked on that, you know?
Yeah, so but the results, if it depends like what kind of results you're looking for, what kind of people get motivated and by different kinds of things. So a lot of people, I will say I've had a lot of guys that they want a lot more quicker level of upskill. And I will say to them, and maybe genetically, it's just not there from a physique standpoint. So I will say to guys, all right, we're still going to go to the gym, but maybe only 2, maybe 3 times a week. Yeah. And we're going to build those training sessions around boxing classes, jiu-jitsu classes. And they're like, oh, why? You know, I want to look good and build a physique. And I'm like, you will. You'll get fit, you'll drop body fat, and you will look a ton better. But you're not going to look like the guys in the magazines that you think you're going to look like. That, sorry, mate, genetically wise, never going to happen, or it might take 5 to 10 years. What you really want is you want to feel like an alpha. You want to feel, and I know that sounds very, alpha, masculine, blah, blah, blah. The reality is you want to feel a bit more like a man. You want to feel like you have control of your life.
Just want to feel more confident.
Your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, whoever it is, your colleagues, to look at you with this respect, like, this guy's got something. He's a man. He can control the situation. He has control of his life. He can protect those around him. He can provide and the genuine, normal foundation things that make a man, right? Those will never go away, no matter how weird the world goes and how woke the world goes. Those fundamental foundation things will always be there. And for the vast, vast, vast majorities of females or partners, whatever you like, boys or girls, doesn't matter, they look for certain things in their men. And those are, can he provide? Can he protect? Does he give off this aura of confidence? So you want those things. And sometimes you're not going to get those things from grinding it out in a gym for 5 years. You might get those things really quickly by going to your local boxing club and building a level of self-defense or learning new skills. It's hard. It's challenging, physically challenging, mentally challenging, and you're going to learn how to defend yourself a little bit. You don't necessarily have to need to fight to feel confident, but it's definitely something that absolutely helps. And you're just going to have that confidence level is going to rise. You're going to lose body fat. You're going to get fitter, healthier, happier. All of these things will compound. So it doesn't need to be just the gym. I send people to boxing classes, jiu-jitsu. I find about what people's hobbies are. Some people, they really love this pickleball and tennis.
And
I'm like, go and smash it and learn skills. Get really good, because you learning new skills and getting good at something.
That's what it is, man.
If you get good at something that is hard, and you do that in a pretty reasonable space of time, it feels so good, and it gives you confidence. It gives you that sense of reward that the work put in is giving you something back.
That's one thing.
Doesn't need to be the gym.
Yeah. So
you're just
being able to
dying.
have a game plan. Yeah. Having a game plan and executing, like right now, this whole fitness, I'm going through a whole bodybuilding, like, oh, it's so fun. I feel like
something
a kid. Yeah. It's something that I'm growing in, and it's a confidence level, and like I'm doing something with my life, and it's so fun to see that you're learning new things, you're progressing, you're growing, whether, again, if it's bodybuilding, whether it's pickleball or anything else.
Marathon running.
Do something.
I coach all kinds of people, not just bodybuilding, people from all walks of life, but it's the same feedback. It's that they're working towards something. It's usually on the back of doing something that's challenging and hard, but it could be anything. I've had people where they're kind of like, no, I like my workout routines and stuff like that, but they're going through a university course. They're going through further education and studying. And I'll have to restructure training and programming and meal timings to kind of help them get through. Like, that's the priority right now. For the next 6 months, let's just try and keep your life together so you're still confident that you're ticking all the goals that you need to physically and mentally stay healthy. But the primary goal might change. That primary goal for that person is crush this course. And at the end of it, they're going to feel amazing, and things are going to change in their life, and everything reprograms and restructures again. And just always being there as a support model for whatever that primary goal is that's the part of coaching that I like. But there's always some sort of reward structure there. It doesn't have to be a physical hard thing.
I have a question for you.
But usually it's physical hard things that really give someone that confidence. And I think build that confidence, and that confidence might give you the confidence to go on and try new things, whether that be getting educated in different fields, whether that be go and try new skills and new hobbies that you never would have done before because you had fuck all confidence. So again, like, that's a foundational mental thing that's being built.
It builds a lot. As a coach, as you see people's lives of, like, whether they're total beginners or they're people that already have like a good physique, everybody comes at you at a starting point. How does it feel seeing somebody, like, let's say in my case, right? You see the before and after. Obviously, I don't know anything. So I'm just like, dude, whatever you say, I'm going to go with. I'm not going to question you. I'm not going to ask, but I saw this video and it said, none of that. Everything you do and you put me on the plan, I'm going to do it. So, but how does that feel as a coach, seeing different lives that come kind of through your program, and you just kind of like, I don't know, like the transformation of people, because I'm sure you've seen it a lot.
Dude, I fucking love it.
That's awesome.
I love it. But I'm also not like, my Instagram could just be loaded with stories like that and transformations, and I could really use that as marketing tools. But I'm a little bit funny with that. Like, what I use to market, using other people's stuff, I know it's probably fine. And if I asked everyone, can I use this for an ad or for a marketing thing, it would probably be fine. I've just got a funny complex with that because I'm still fairly early in my overall coaching career compared to guys that have been in this game for 20 plus years. I've been doing this for like 6 years. I'm very confident in my abilities. I'm very good at what I do. I know I am. I've worked for it. At the same time, I'm not sure how to... I know I'm still learning a lot. You know, there's, from a formal education intelligence level, there are people way smarter than me. I'm very good at communicating and applying things and helping people at certain levels understand certain mechanisms and processes and progress and structures to get to a result. I'm very good at that. I'm also not going to be the guy that gets on a podcast and has a full-blown scientific debate on certain topics. I'm not that guy. I'm not confident in that way. I understand what I know and I stay in my lane and I don't step outside of my lane. If there's something outside of my lane that I feel like would benefit me or my clients, I'll learn it. And only until I've really, really kind of got a good solid grasp am I confident to talk about that. And I think that's like, but when that, I kind of see the transformations in the same way, because I know there are certain factors involved which are just, I don't want to, I've recently done it a bit more. I've had people competing. This last 12 months, I've had quite a lot of first timers, second time, third time competitors compete, and they've done really well. I've had no one place outside of a top three. Most of them have won, natural and enhanced. And it makes you feel so good.
Awesome,
I'm like,
man.
fuck yeah,
That's awesome.
that's my work. And it
You
worked.
win. I mean, when they
But at
win,
the
it's
same
like
time,
you feel,
the reason why I'm not like, hey, here's my work. I did this. Look at my Instagram. I did this. I transformed this person from this to this. No, I wrote the programs and the plans.
Yeah.
You did the work. So I get a little bit funny with,
I see what you're saying.
you did the work. I just wrote some plans and made sure you stuck to them. Yeah, that's a level of accountability, but I struggle sometimes saying things like, we did this, we did that.
It. Yeah.
No, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You made the decision to sign up and follow plans and get the work done. I just wrote the plans. So I'm at the moment, I'm at that point in my career where I do have to take my business a bit more seriously as far as marketing and things like that. But I'm trying to find out a way where I'm comfortable with sharing that. I want to do more of this because this tells the whole story from what both parties went through and did. And I don't want it to come across like it's all the coach. Because in bodybuilding, for some reason, over the last 10 years, some of the coaches have become more famous than the athletes. And I'm not against that, but especially if they've done a great job. But I've also known and met a lot of these coaches and studied from a lot of these guys because there's some incredible coaches that I've learned so much from. But I'm also recognizing that most of the really good coaches are not doing things much differently than one another. Most people have pretty much a similar framework of how to get the job done depending on the individual.
It's not like this secret
There's not
theme
a secret someone's
doing
doing from one to another. There's just the levels of which it's practiced and the levels of, I think it's more of the quality of service that you provide, which a lot of the times comes down to communication and just being there as a good coach and then making the right calls at the right time. So there's definitely an experience factor there as well, which I think is a big benefit for myself, as I don't have formal education. Like I don't have a university degree, but I have done pretty much every course online you can imagine built by coaches. And I've proofread every single one of Vigorous Steve's ebooks. That guy is the gold standard that most people learn from when it comes to performance enhancing drugs and a lot of different things, not just even those subjects. Like I was one of his very first mentees that learned everything from him, proofread it. I've learned all of those systems over the years, but I'm not online. I don't consider myself an educator. I'm not an educator. I'm not a researcher. I don't claim to be. I don't even possess the full skills to read through. Have you ever seen and read a full study, like a full proper meta-analysis study, top to bottom? If you've ever seen one, I suggest you try and read through it. And then when you see people online saying studies have shown, and they spurt off some bullshit that they've seen on a TikTok post or a very quick meme. And I'm like, you've never read a study. I know you haven't because your terminology is way off. And the just having the skill set to read a study properly and really dissect it and understand it, like I could, but I would need to really sit down and do that. I don't do that. I say I don't read studies. Fuck that. You know what I do? I listen to the people that have read the studies, that really know how to read the studies and know how to present that data without any bias, without any misguided intentions. I have I've skipped. I don't need to read the study because the person that told me about the study's results, I trust 100% that their understanding is up to speed with everything in the data that we. Anyway, this is going a bit off track, but this is more about just staying in your lane. My focus is on my clients and using the tools that I have in my toolbox to get the job done, and it works really, really well. But again, these are things like
it's eventually where you know, and it reaffirms what you do.
Yeah,
and
I get
exactly.
that. Yeah, like the confirmation that I'm doing something good and I'm helping people. That's good for me.
Yeah,
it's not, it could be more for my bank balance, but it's good for me. It's good for this, and I can go to bed with a smile on my face.
That's
like,
where you feel so good, and that's when you can tell someone to their face with 1,000% confidence, like I'll change your life.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You build that type of confidence. Because you're not just saying like I think I'll change your life. It's like no, I'll do it, and the other person feels that. Like you can say whatever you want out of your mouth. And I was like, yeah, well, this guy's bullshit or whatever. Well, but there's certain things, and it's like, oh man, I felt that. Like I don't know, man. There's some type of energy where it's like it hits it very deep. But hey, I got actually some really good questions. We got a few questions right here.
Let's do a few questions now, and then we will jump into because I think we've covered pretty much that first few months. It's kind of how it went. Nothing changed. Just to summarize that, by the way, because I know we keep getting super philosophical and off topic a little bit, but these are important things that I really hope people can take into account and really let it stick, because these are the kind of mindsets that really make this whole journey. And whether you're a coach or a client, these are the things I think which really solidify that consistent longevity of it. Like the reasons why Mario hasn't quit, the reason why he hasn't fallen off. These are the sorts of thoughts and the feelings that you should really use as fuel. And but as a just general summary, that whole first 3 months, that month 1 to 3 was a basic deficit, a training day, non-training day diet setup that I do for everyone, a very basic carb cycle setup. It wasn't until 3 months in that Mario even hinted at the idea of, can I maybe have a cheat meal? And I'm like, what's your go-to cheat meal? And he's like, an In-N-Out. And I'm like, all right, what day of the week would you like to do that every week with the family? This day. Okay, lock it in. That's on the plan. And then over time, that's turned into twice a week. And it's absolutely fine. It works very well with his plan. The laws of thermodynamics, the diet side of things, guys, it's really not that complicated for Mario. We just hit his protein goals based on what is good for him and producing results. It's usually, for most people, somewhere between 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Lean body weight. Mario's never been super obese, so I've not had to overcorrect for that number at all. Carbohydrates, mostly around his training window, enough to fuel him, enough to fuel recovery. And a reasonable amount of fats is just enough to sort of take care of what our fat needs are for hormone balances and things like that. We won't get too much into why certain macros and why. I'm not going to teach you about why fats, carbs, and proteins in this. This is more just the overall look at Mario's setup. Very basic. So to do that, we basically tried to find out with a certain amount of food where his body weight stayed the same for a good amount of time, for a good solid week or two. Then I know, based on consistent daily movement, daily habits, those foundation inputs day to day, week to week, and his body weight staying pretty much the same, I know that's his true maintenance calories. From there, we create a very slight deficit, usually via a little bit of fats, a little bit of carbs, and over time, gradually that deficit continues when it really needs to, not just for the sake of it, only when it really needs to. I like to get it into a place where weight loss is very, very gradual and predictable. 0.5 pound to 1 pound a week is kind of where I like people to be. Those weeks go by real fast, and all of a sudden, oh shit, 8 weeks just went past and I'm 8 to 10 pounds down. 8 to 10 pounds down visually is huge.
Yeah,
it's a big difference. His TRT stayed the same for a good few months.
It's been.
We didn't change it for like 3 months.
Yeah, no, it's been already the same for like.
We only bumped it up to 3, right?
We're at 315 right now.
Yeah, so we only made one change to his TRT, and that was after a good 8 to 10 weeks at his entry level, where we checked his bloods every 4 or 5 weeks and everything was fine. And then at the 8 to 10 week mark, we said, hey, do you know what? Let's put in an extra 100 milligrams and just see how it hits. And we just gauged that based on how he was feeling, how he was responding, his recovery, any noticeable side effects, anything different than what he'd usually feels. Confirm that with some blood work. Everything's good. We don't mess with it. We stay there. And in that time, from month 3 to month 6, we've only done 2 other little experimental trials in that time. And one was introducing some growth hormone. Growth hormone alongside testosterone.
Well, one of the questions that I have right here is, what's the cycle?
What's the cycle? So yeah, this was it. So Mario was TRT for the vast majority, for that whole first 3 months. And alongside your TRT, we first introduced, after a couple of months of TRT, we introduced some growth hormone. That growth hormone first went in at what, 3 IUs?
Yeah, so
dose.
we'll get into the Q&A, so I can actually put timestamps. So this will be the official Q&A section. And yeah, the first question is, what's the cycle? So we started it with TRT. Just TRT.
After 1 month of foundations.
Yeah, I think it was like after a month.
And then blood work, confirmation, numbers definitely needed improving. 200 milligrams a week was our entry level put in, which I decided would be a good starting point for you based on where you're at training-wise, diet-wise, foundations-wise. That went perfect.
Yeah.
Everything was good. It bumped your numbers up to a good range where we wanted them. Nothing too high, nothing too low, no side effects. Feelings were great. The general genomic, non-genomic responses were very, very good. Improved sleep, improved recovery, improved training, improved libido, improved skin, collagen synthesis, all of these things. Good. So we know that TRT base was perfect.
Yeah.
After that was the start of month 2 to month 4. From there, we bumped it up to 315. So an extra, I do 315 because we do daily shots. All of this is split into daily shots for nice steady serum concentration levels. It's optional. It's just how I like to do things. And from a structural side of things, like creating daily habits, daily routines. So you never, did I do a shot today? Didn't I? It's never a question because it's every day. And then steady serum concentration levels like that, daily shots are usually a great way to mitigate most side effects. So that's why we did that. We bumped it up to 315, no sides, just improvements on everything that we were already doing. So it's just an extra little cherry on top of the cake that we had already built. Felt great, no issues, no problems, continued with that. That remains the same to this day.
My face got better. My face started clearing out. I don't know if it's because I was doing daily shots and my hormone balance started
less hormone fluctuations.
It wasn't fluctuating. Sometimes outbreaks. I would feel high, sometimes low.
Yeah.
Now I just started feeling very consistent.
Everything.
And I noticed like my face, I had a lot of scarring, a lot of acne on my face. And then once I started daily shots, it cleared up like crazy. And it's
so that
still,
would have been on the back of steady hormone levels, so no fluctuations, no breakouts. Hydration goals set in place,
which
upregulated collagen synthesis, so your skin is constantly repairing.
And then just the quality of food that I was eating,
and the quality of your food.
Back then, I would eat whenever I would eat. It was like takeout.
All of these things, the
that
basics.
was normal. Yeah, but now is like no,
all
I
of
eat
your
at
health
home.
subs are in place.
I'll eat at takeout if I'm gonna have a free meal, but if I'm not doing a free meal, is always home. Cooked chicken, rice, like all the basic stuff, which my body obviously thanked me for.
It's
that.
a lot of meat and rice, guys. The diet is made basically meat, rice, a little bit of veg. That's it, over and over again. Pick it, kill it, grow it, whatever Justin says. It's the same thing. It's and it really is really simple. It's not really much variety there. I allow a bit of flexibility and variety, but Mario understands how to make those swaps, basically how to match macros, what proteins can be swapped with others, and things to be aware of. Very basic nutritional entry-level information. Nothing in depth, just enough to be able to manage diet, be a little flexible without panicking and stressing that you're going to go off plan. And it works perfectly every time. And then that deficit just continues over the months to make sure that fat loss continues. The TRT input, or what would be TRT plus at 315, I would call it TRT plus. That just makes sure muscle, the potential for muscle retention is really good. The growth hormone also supports that. 3 IUs.
We started at 3 IU.
3 IUs pre-bed,
growth.
just enough to improve sleep a little bit, improve recovery, improve that lipolysis, which is fat loss, a fancy word for fat loss. Improve your muscle retention properties there as well, and just the overall kind of a little bit of say a nice little bit of added fullness from the benefits of slight extra bit of efficiency with glycogen storage and water retention.
We were at 3 IU this whole entire time until October.
Let's get to that.
Yeah.
So that was what it was. That's Mario's foundation
The cycle was
that's it.
TRT
Test and growth.
and growth.
Believe it or not, based on his pictures, it's test and growth. Mario then, because I was dabbling with a little bit more growth hormone than that at the beginning of this month.
Yeah, it was
exactly
on
and I was
October
like,
1st.
I'm running 10, and and he's like, what does 10 feel like? What does this feel like? And just general inquisitive curiosity of this, that, and that. So basically, long story short, I explain growth hormone, the effects of growth hormone just increase. It's as simple as that. And for some people, that feels and it looks great. For some people, it doesn't feel so good and it doesn't look so great. Everyone has a little bit of a sweet spot. But typically what I see for people that want a physical change from growth hormone, that a different look, usually that's when you go beyond 5 IUs. So for Mario, went from 3, we tested out 5. 5 felt really good. No issues there, right? All good. The same results, felt good, recovery good, sleep good, no water retention, no like crazy carpal tunnel side effects, which are easily managed with mineral balance. And then we said, well, why not just, if you want to feel what 10 feels like, just do 10.
Do 2 weeks of 10 IU just to see how you would feel.
See how you feel. There is nothing wrong with a bit of trial and error here. Absolutely nothing wrong. Now, the difference between Mario, his look on 3 and 5, not really much different, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You just get a little bit of the added cherry on top benefits. None of these things are going to be, oh my God, game changers. The difference from 5 to 10, which we basically split, 3 pre-workout?
No, once we went up to 10, I did 5 IU pre-workout.
5 IU pre-workout, which would
5
be
at night.
2.5 IUs bilaterally pre-workout into the muscle groups changed, so intramuscular, and then 5 IUs a couple of hours pre-bed. And
not even a week passed, and I was like, yo,
this feels different.
Dude, I look different. Yeah, like my shoulders, arms, abs, like I noticed it before a week changed. And it's funny because, I posted a video on my YouTube channel, and I'll go through, if you guys go through all the comments, I'll probably leave a link right here. Everyone was like, dude, you look so different, man. Like, so 10 IU, it is awesome. Like it's
right?
awesome. It's very different. So it hadn't even been a week, and I was like, oh, I already feel different, and I noticed a lot of changes like that I really liked.
And
like,
what were they?
I felt fuller, like my muscle belly just felt thicker.
Just like a perma pump.
Yeah, and then I also noticed more vascularity. So I don't know if I don't know so much about this stuff, but like if my actual graininess kind of started, I noticed like the lower abs started it looked so different.
So you were fuller. So what you're basically the water and the glycogen, long story short, carbs, blah, 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 glycogen into the muscles. Imagine a deflated balloon and you pump that balloon full of water. The outside skin of that balloon looks thinner, right? Because the inside of the balloon is pushing against the skin.
Oh, got it.
That's what's happening to the muscle. So the muscle looks like you're leaner because the skin's being pushed out tighter and your muscle bellies are really full. So you look rounder, you look more 3D and you're storing all of these nutrients, all of this glycogen and water in the muscle for longer throughout the day because we were hitting him twice a day with this stuff. So you kind of feel like you have like a bit of a pump all the time.
Yeah, no.
Compared to what's normal.
10
now,
IU felt
do
good,
not get this confused with, oh my God, you just grew all of this magical muscle out of nowhere. No, the rate of muscle gain is probably the exact same, but your ability with growth hormone, what happens at certain times, especially in a diet, you tend to recomp a little bit. And this can happen in the early stages of an off season as well. You can kind of, it gives you potential ability to train a lot, recover a lot, sleep really well, store a lot more sort of water and glycogen, not in the way insulin does, but it has synergistic effects there. And you tend to just not gain fat as fast.
Yeah.
So it, in a diet, can improve the rate of fat loss for sure. In a off season, can decrease the rate of fat gain if timed correctly. But again, is 10 IU something you can realistically do for a really long period of time?
It hurt me, but I had to had to go back down to 5.
It's expensive, and it's one of those things where I was like, if you really want to know what that feels like, then do it.
Well, the cool thing is that
you feel it, and you're like, do you know what? That was cool, and it felt good to be. But when I explain the basic mechanisms to you, and you're like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to get the exact same really good results if I just run an affordable, consistently taken 3 to 5, probably 5.
5, yeah, I feel good with 5
for a longer period of time, and you'll feel really good from that. And we can get those pumps all the time with just a little bit of extra food.
But if anybody wanted
a few refeed days can't
the cool thing about growth is if anybody wanted to try that experiment, it doesn't take months to see, or like a whole entire month to like, all right, now I see a difference. It didn't take not even a
days.
week. And I was like, oh, okay. I
You'll
don't know if
notice it
it's
in a
because
couple
of
of
my
days.
body fat, like where I'm at right now, I'm able to see these changes so fast. But if somebody's a little heavier, like it's harder to see those changes.
Oh,
but
absolutely. You're
right
leaner,
now,
so you're able to physically
everything
see
seems
that
very
way
sensitive. Yeah, it's like my body's sensitive to almost anything that I do different. So, So right now,
that was it. But and then
once
for the rest of the cycle, there's not much to it. But that was one little trial experiment that Mario did, which we basically just kept a close eye on. There is nothing wrong with experimenting, guys, if it's done with an intelligent approach and you're tracking everything properly. If you're just winging it, throwing shit in for the sake of it, hoping for the best, good luck with that. It's not going to work, and it's dumb, and you shouldn't do things like that. But if you do little experiments in controlled environments in a scientific way, it's absolutely fine, as long as you can justify the inputs or you have a specific reason for that experiment or a result that you're trying to achieve. It's just science. Nothing wrong with doing science. Science is a series of experiments. That's what scientists do. I'm not saying I'm a scientist, but there's science involved. The other experiment that we did, which was for 4 weeks only, was a little bit of Anavar. Anavar is a very, in my opinion, good bang for buck oral steroid that is easy to manage, has a very low side effect profile, and is something that can give you a nice, good little training bump, potentially a physically composition change if you're lean enough to see it. But you're going to notice it from more of a training standpoint at certain points in your diet where your training's starting to take a little bit of a hit and you need something to just keep that training output a little bit higher. Anavar is one of those really nice inputs that you can do in a diet phase. Mario is in a diet phase.
Yeah, well, because I know like my carbs are so low, and then my body fat started going very low. Then it's like I can't really feel the pump. So it was a cool little a pump booster.
No, we could have got that back in 10 different ways that don't involve any steroids. But we were in a position where you were asking questions again, and it was like, what else would you like if you were to add something at this stage to my cycle? You know, what would you do? Not saying I want to, or not saying I should, but what, like, you were just asking normal, intelligent questions to learn something. And for me, for you as a first time into this, I know you're nailing everything I'm telling you to do. I'm like, what you could potentially do here, treating it like the end of a prep, is potentially have a slight oral input to help sustain that training output while you're in a deficit and you're digging deep.
Yeah.
So what did we do? We said, well, let's just put in a bit of Anavar for 4 weeks only at very, very low dose of 10 milligrams a day, pre-workout. And we did that for 4 weeks. And it basically just allowed you to get through the rest of that mesocycle intact without
it was good. It was good. But what hurt me the most was
game-changing,
the 10 IU was like, whoa, I like that, you know. But the Anavar was cool, you know, but it wasn't like, you know, like obviously the 4 weeks is over, and I'm like, all right, cool, you know, it was
not
fun to
really
experiment.
upregulate all of that storage capacity, which gives you that physical feeling and look like growth hormone does.
Yeah, that was.
That's a different thing
that
altogether.
One hits different.
But I could do both of those things, that growth hormone and Anavar. I could do that with carbs, with zero input. I could have you feeling like that with just a bit of diet manipulation.
Yeah.
But those diet manipulations would probably mean taking you out of a deficit, which right now the goal is still fat loss.
Yeah.
So there'll be a time where when we bounce back into your like little rebound off season, it's all going to be test and food. That is it. Maybe a few IUs of growth alongside that if you still want to keep it in. But that feeling that you felt is going to feel like that and some from just food.
Nice.
The carbs that I'm allowed to give you and program when we put you into maintenance or a surplus is going to feel 10 times better than any steroid ever will. I promise you that. So get really excited about eating a shitload more rice.
We'll talk about the 6-week a peak that I'm going to, we'll talk about that at the end.
That's essentially, guys, that was Mario's cycle over the last 6 months. Was 1 month of nothing, build foundations, 3 months of TRT at 200 milligrams, introducing 3 IUs of growth hormone pre-bed, titrating that up to 5 IUs, titrating the testosterone up to 315 milligrams, so an extra 115 milligrams, nothing crazy, and doing very short trial experiments of 10 IUs of growth hormone, which was for 2 weeks only, just so he could feel it, and 10 milligrams of Anavar for 4 weeks only, just so he could feel it. So if you look at how long we did those things for, it's a tiny fraction of the rest of the time. The vast, vast majority of Mario's progress has been on the back of a good, healthy testosterone base, really good training, and really good dieting. And that's it. That is it.
Yeah. All right, so next question is, what's been your biggest change or shift that allowed you to get this lean? I think it's just...
I think we just spoke about.
Yeah, so mainly just like my habits of like how I was able to just kind of lock in. It's just changing, restructuring everything. And I will say this about like just dieting in general. You got to approach it. You got to change your mind to approach it effectively, in a sense of, I had to restructure the way I thought about food. So now I looked at food and I told myself even before, I said, I want to eat this not for taste, but for purpose. And I want to consume this and knowing that it's going to have an effect on me, because when I eat like just takeout food, it tastes phenomenal. It tastes great for like an hour, or not even an hour, but like 30 minutes while I'm eating. You're sitting down, and then when you leave, and then like after an hour, when it settles in, you feel like shit. You feel tired. That effect of you feeling nasty after like a heavy meal will last a long time. So I had to restructure my mindset. Now when I would see the boring old rice and chicken, I look at it with purpose, and I think about it of, all right, once I eat this, I'm going to feel good after. So that helped me a lot when I started the whole dieting thing, because I could have been like, man, I'm missing out on food. I'm missing out the burger. I'm missing the pizza. And yeah, it would suck, because you're thinking about your ex, right? You're thinking about this. You're thinking about that. But if you say, man, what I have right here is quality, and I'm going to feel good for the rest of my life when I consume it, maybe it's not as pleasurable in the moment, but it has longevity. That's what shifts. So that helped me a lot, just changing my habits.
But it becomes pleasurable, right?
Yeah, it becomes, once you start seeing like you start feeling good, and
it's just mind games.
You're just like, man, I want to feel good.
And then you eat pizza and you're like, actually, it didn't taste as good as I remember.
Yeah, so now when I have my free meals, I just had pizza for the first time in months. And I was like, I can't wait to eat pizza. Man, I love pizza, right? So I ate it. And I was like, all right, it was good, but I miss my diet now. Yeah. Like, I want to go back to my diet, because now I became accustomed to this lifestyle.
It's just your addictions.
I feel good. So
if you're addicted to something, sugar, basically, and crap foods, it tastes really, really good. Your body's like, yeah, that's amazing. That's the best thing you've ever had. Have more, have more, have more. You take that away, and now your body's addicted to just feeling good and healthy food. And you go back to that shit sugar food.
You have
your
to
body
feel
goes,
it. You have to feel it, and you have to know how that feels, because I know that, like, you'll look at it and be like, oh man, I don't want to be eating that, man. That sucks. It doesn't suck.
I still enjoy pizza.
Yeah, I love pizza, but when I'm eating, when I'm eating in the moment, of course it's great, but then when I go to sleep, I'm like, oh man, I feel bloated. I feel so big. And then I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go back on my diet, because I just want to feel flexible. I want to feel mobile. You also don't
have the cravings, right?
Yeah, like my cravings is there, but is nowhere near of where I was back then. Yeah. Now is like, if I have a quick craving, what I'll do, and sometimes like if my daughter, because she eats, like she'll get her pizza or she'll get a burger or I'll take a bite. And I'll put it in my mouth, and when I kind of feed into that, I'm like, all right, cool, happy, All right, cool. Let's get back. And it helps
That's
me
dangerous,
out.
man.
For me, it helps me. It shuts down my craving.
Most people can't do
Not
that.
for me,
They'll take a
man.
bite and they'll go,
No, it's weird.
Oh, no, what have I
It's
done?
so crazy. Or like she'll have some chips and all that, and I'm like, let me just get like a quick little bunch and I'll eat them. And I tell my body like, all right, shut the fuck
That's
up.
a
You
discipline
already
thing
got
more
it.
than anything, though. It's because
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
seen the results of not slipping up.
It's a perspective thing.
The result, the feeling of
Yeah.
how you feel and how you look is way more rewarding than that quick
Exactly.
hit.
And it's a mindset though. And it's the way you look at certain things that will shift on how your body will crave certain addictions, right? I have to approach it from a different angle, and it is very more of a mental thing.
Like I said, a lot of people have been like, how do I get a transformation like Mario's? Mario's transformation is extreme because he has extremely hyper-responsive genetics to everything he's done. He hyper-responds to food inputs, to training inputs, and obviously hormone optimization. He's not anywhere near a full cycle. Nowhere near it. But he is responding like so much better than people that are running grams and grams of gear. Now, this is a very, very genetic thing, guys. So don't let that discourage you from starting and trying. Because, like, look, if you listen to this podcast, if you really listen to it, you will notice all of the other massive benefits that Mario's had in his life outside of just the physical change. And they are worth every penny. And, you know, and it starts with making a decision, that commitment, like, I'm really going to do this. I'm going to go all in. And I'm going to hire someone who's going to show me how to do it and hold me accountable, have my back, and get the job done. And that's what we've done. Don't get me wrong. He's the one who's picked up the work. He picked up the weights, you know, picked up the knife and the fork, done the prep. He's done the work. I've just, you know, shown him what work to do and held him accountable and make sure that it's continuous and really, really good. And I'm super, super proud of what you've done so far. It's been so, I mean, it's great when you see your friends do it. Obviously, it's a nice little cherry on top of the cake. But I've seen in close, in person, like what that's done for you, your family, your business, and everything as well. And it's just like, again, it's like, fuck, yes.
Yeah, man.
Even if I do that once with one person in my entire life, it's like, that's a win, man. That's such a cool thing to do.
Man. It
and
is.
to see you really just, I'm going all in and I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it properly. No excuses. Let's just get it done is a rare thing. And to see you do it the way you've done it is amazing. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm super happy that you're happy and long may it continue. By the way, my prices are going up.
Damn. By the way, I mean, he's all right, guys. He ain't all that. It's been awesome, and thank you. The way I approach it, anything I do, even audio, beat making, when I buy gear for like my studio, I'm very picky. Like that's just the way I've been. Just in everything I do. If I'm gonna buy speakers for my studio, I don't go for like I'll just buy these, you know, like cheap.
This'll do.
I'm very picky. And people are like, you spent how much on speakers? Like my speakers were like $3,000. To some people, it's like, that's crazy. But if I'm gonna make an investment on anything, I'm gonna make sure it's quality. So same thing, even with me doing what I'm doing, is like I want to make sure I'm gonna do it the right way. If I'm going to do this, right? So even, you know, going into a growth phase, once I do it, I want to do it at my leanest and approach this growth phase in a right way. I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to be big and just wear hoodies all the time and I'm bulking, bro. Like,
nope.
I don't want to do that. So I want to experience it the proper way it should be done. So I'm excited for all that. And thank you. You know, like it's been an awesome journey, and not just looking at you as a coach, but also as a friend, almost like family to me. You know, like it's been awesome to do it with someone that, and I will call you out on this, but it's in a loving way that does not, as a friend, will not let you down if he sees bullshit on you. And you know, if you call me out on a lot of stuff,
I won't sugarcoat nothing.
and yeah, you know, he's I made me feel like, damn man, I'm an idiot, or like I'm this, but it's not that. It's what a friend would do. And like there's been many times where we've talked about it and I'm like, man, if it weren't for you, if you wouldn't have called me out like that, I wouldn't step up my game. So sometimes you need friends that will do that will push you, not to down you or anything like that, but to improve you. So there's not many people like that. So
You
thank
need
you
people
for
that
all
are going
that.
to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, because like you can have a cheerleader. Anyone can pat you on the back, give you a thumbs up emoji and say, great job, buddy, keep going, you're doing great. Maybe the answer is, no, you need to do better. If you want results, you got to do better. This is not enough.
Yeah.
And I've always stood behind that. I've always been like, clients aren't just paying me you're not paying a cheerleader. Anyone can write a program in some way or another. You want real accountability, and you want to have that faith and that trust that you have a coach that will make sure that you're pulling your weight. And if you're not, call you out on it. Because, you know, just getting on by and a pat on the back, that's not going to get you results. You know, people who do that, they're just cashing in. They'll just take your money. And then it's being realistic as well. You know, I'll also say to people when they ask and they compare themselves to you and things like that, I'm like, you just don't have the same genetics. You know, for you to make those kinds of changes, that might take 5 years. And that is the reality. And I'm never going to sugarcoat that or call bullshit. A lot of the time people will ask that and I'm like, we don't know yet. You need to put more time in and more effort, and then we'll figure that out as we go along. Either way, if that is the case, does that mean you're just going to quit? Are you just going to quit on yourself? Are you going to quit on improving yourself because you can't do it as fast as someone else? Or are you going to use that as a little bit of drive and hunger to prove to yourself that you can be the best version of yourself, not compare yourself to others? And I think that's a really big thing to take into account. And I think it's, again, like we said before about all the marketing stuff, that's why I'm a little bit careful with that, because I don't want to portray this image that everyone can do this in just a few months if you do this, this, and this. It's just bullshit. Yeah, I can absolutely 100% look into someone's eyes and say, you give me 6 months and I'll change your life. I will. But it might not be just, oh, I don't have a six-pack yet. Well, how about every other part of your life that's changed? So it's one of them. It's like, you know, I love this job because I really like to get in with people's, you know, lives. And they say don't get emotionally attached to your clients. You know, keep it business only. Don't develop these personal relationships with clients. I kind of call bullshit on that. I think it's impossible. I've never not been able to do that to some degree. Where you're like, nah, man, if you've been helping someone through, like I've said before on podcasts and things, you help people through really deep personal parts of their lives. They look to you for that person in their life that they can always call on. It's like a big brother role. That's not going to judge you. It's just going to tell you what you need to hear when you need to hear it. And that's a big responsibility, and there's always going to be a bit of that emotional attachment. You're going to be attached to people. Some of these people have become friends. I've coached people for years and years and years. They're still with me 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I'm not going to say, no, that person's just a number, just another client. Like, I can't do that. I'm never going to be that kind of guy. I always get attached to people really easily. But I like that because I think it kind of builds something. But then it makes it really, really hard when someone leaves. It's heartbreaking. You're like, oh.
It's like a breakup.
It is. It's like a breakup. But, you know,
it's not you. I promise. It's me. I got to go.
No, it's happened. It happened recently. I lost, you know, I didn't lose anyone. Someone has just said, do you know what? I want to try something. I've had an opportunity to work with a big name coach, someone who's like a little bit more famous in the coaching world, has a lot of experience with higher level competitive clients. So the coach that they're going to is a great coach, and I'm sure they'll do a great job. But at the same time, I'm like, man, like that insane, credible transformation. Like this person is like 95% of the way there. There's 5% left, cherry on top of the cake to get the job done to reach their goal. And that new coach is then going to do that 5%, which anyone can do.
You've done
it's
like
super
the
easy,
whole entire
and they're going to be like, look what I did. And I'm going to be like, did you
like,
do that?
I put this whole piece together just to give you the
so
the
it cuts
last
a little
one.
bit, but at the same time, because I am emotionally attached to that person as a friend, what really is important to me is that they just get there.
They get there.
As long as they get
awesome.
there. I had this conversation with them and I said, whatever happens, whoever you do it with, just don't quit. Just make sure you get there. You have all of this incredible potential. What's going to make me really smile to myself in my room at night before I go to bed and I'm seeing that, they did it. They did it. I'll smile knowing that I had a little part of that, or maybe a big part of that. But what really makes me happy is that they actually did it.
That you stick to it,
we
yeah.
installed something there that helped them not quit and reach their goal,
Yeah.
and probably change their life forever. And whoever takes over from there, you know, you've got a good one. That's all I will say to that coach is, if you need, and I'll do that. It happens sometimes, and I usually say, look, if your coach needs any information from me about you and everything we've done so far, reach out. Let me help bridge that gap. I'm not going to be like, well, fuck you then. You know, you dead to me now. No, not at all. It does cut and it hurts a little bit. At the same time, it's nice to kind of see people just go, and a lot of them do come back. A lot of them go, do you know what? It's just not the same. I want to come back. Happy days. The door is always open.
Yeah, it's not like what, you know, like
it's
not
nothing
like a
it
bitter
never is.
type
It never is. And I like to. This is building those relationships with clients and those coach-client relationship people talk about. It's got to be more than just business. I think there needs to be a deep level of trust and communication to have longevity.
Yeah.
And longevity is where the results come. The results don't come in a 12-week challenge. The results come 2 or 3 years working together to achieve this really amazing goal. And and it's cool, and I love doing this. And just the first 6 months with you has been really, really good. It's been good for me mentally to be sort of seeing it in person, and just like, it's a nice little confirmation that, oh yeah, what I'm doing does have a really good impact on someone's life.
Very fucking good impact.
And it's a nice thing to do, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you're a really good example that I can use and tell people. And I think this podcast is going to be probably one of the most valuable ones that we've ever done, because I can be like, if you want to kind of see from start to finish what that first 6 months looks like, from the planning to the philosophy to the mental approach to it. And I think there's so much value in this. I know it's a long one, guys. We've gone on and on and on, but we wanted it to be a really good, full, all-in summary of this entire process so far.
We'll do another one once we hit the year.
When we finish the full thing, the next 6 weeks, we'll do one in 6 weeks. When we finish,
that would be awesome.
When we finish the prep and we got the photo shoot.
We'll
put Mario will put some pictures up here somewhere, I'm sure, as we go through this episode.
OnlyFans account coming out soon.
It's been really cool, and I'm really looking forward to your wife.
Yeah.
Going through this as well, and just seeing her journey. I mean, she's juggled a lot as well, so it's building those structures that are consistent, and over time will go by one way or another. The next 6 months is going to go by whether you like it or not. What you do with that 6 months.
That's what I'm excited to see. If what 6 months look like. I always question, like, I wonder how a year will look like, or 2 years would look like, just sticking to it,
Well,
so
I say this to people,
it's gonna be awesome.
The time can be scary. When I say to someone, well, you want to be a bodybuilder? Yeah, I love bodybuilding. Yeah, I really want to be a bodybuilder. Realistically, if you look at me now, how long is that going to take? Which is an impossible answer to answer most of the time if someone isn't already fairly developed. And I'll say to them, bodybuilding's, if you're genetically really, really good, you're still looking at like 5 to 10 years to get to the top level, if you ever get there at all. And you see their faces.
That's
go,
crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's if
really?
You're like,
oh, my buddy said
good,
he did this in like 12 months, and I'm like, no, he didn't. And he's shit. Like,
With
this
that,
is like, he's not winning nothing. That's a Photoshop crappy picture of him, off his tits on Psalms and looking like every other punk that wishes they would have done it the right way. And you tell them the realities of this, and then I always follow up with, well, what did you do with the last 5 years of your life that gave you anything really reward, that has real like life rewards? What did you do for the last 5 years? Anything really anything that changed your life or gave you a purpose or anything like that? No, they struggle to think of something, unless it's maybe educational related or business related. Fair enough, great. But for themselves, physically, mentally.
Yeah, like, what have you done for yourself type of thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah. So so what's another 5 years? Another 5 years is going to go by.
It's going to come. Yeah, it's
going to go by.
Exactly the way I look at it.
And in 5 years goes by, and you could be sat
whether
here
you sit on
having
your
the
ass,
same conversation.
It's going to come no matter what.
Damn, that's another 5 years just gone by, and I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's like, all right. Yeah, that's so true, man.
And trust me, man. I and this is from experience. I wasted a lot of my life jumping in and out of things, never fully committed, never fully going through with things. And It wasn't until I was 28 years old before I got my shit together. 28 years old before I kind of had a little bit of a wake up of life owes me nothing. The good things are not just going to fall into my lap. Good fortune is not going to fall into my lap. I'm not going to all of a sudden get lucky. I have to really make some extreme changes and put some real effort if I want something to happen. And I need to pick a couple of things that are important to me, and I need to really commit and put some fucking effort into my life. If I want my life to be better, I need to put some effort into it. And not just think about it, procrastinate over it, legit put some effort in. And that's when my life turned around. And it was shit. I hit rock bottom many times, and I had to really, really pick myself back up. And it's been upwards trajectory ever since. And it was this internal realization of, Aaron, you're almost 30 and you're still have not achieved anything outside of a few small novelty things that are, fun and good memories and whatever, but nothing significant that's actually going to have any longevity. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
And the only person who can do that is yourself. And you need to make some decisions and make shit happen. And that's not going to magically happen one day. So the more and the longer you wait around for these things to just fall into your lap and for things to happen, and the right time will come. No, it won't. It will never come. And 10 years will go by and it will still never come. And you'll go, shit. And you will get fatter and unhealthier and more unhappy as the years go by if you're not doing something good with your life, which is the case for a lot of people. They're just spiraling slow. Every year goes by and it gets worse and worse, and they feel like there's no way out, and they're waiting for that perfect time or opportunity that's not going to come along. If you're in one of those positions, which I was for the most of my life, all I can say to you is just recognize that that day is never going to come. It's never going to come, and you are going to have to grab life by the balls and do something with it. And that's it.
Man, well, look, guys, all I will say to wrap it all up is just I still, if you 6 months into all of this, I still don't know much, so like, when people will send me a DM, like, what do you do this for that? I don't know much, which I'm glad I don't, because it, again, like I mentioned before, it allows me to focus on what I need to focus. So
ignorance is bliss sometimes.
If you're watching this and you're somebody like, man, I don't know much about fitness, but I need to change some stuff around, get yourself a coach. Like, I would just say that because it allows you to stay focused, and it's not going to take away anything from what you're already doing in life. If you're busy, you got a job, you got this, a family, that's fine. Keep doing that. And if you still care about yourself in the middle of all of that stuff you have going on, and you're just like, I'm just letting myself go because I'm too busy, get yourself a coach. I promise you, it's not hard, because a real good coach will guide you through the step, because they know everything that needs to be done and they know how to execute it, where you don't have to think about anything. You just have to follow a plan. That's the only thing you have to do out of your busy life, is just look at your sheet and look, with you have an app. That's just a quick little summary of what I do and how he does it with me. I have an app. I have my account on my app, and I just log in and I see all my meals, everything I need to, from supplements, from vitamins. It's so easy for me. I wake up, I execute meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. I go to bed. It's easy for me. So if you're busy and you're one of those people, get yourself a coach. Obviously, I have links down in the description for Aaron if you guys want to reach out to him. But the main thing is just get somebody that's going to guide you through this process. I mean, I vouch for Aaron because I've done this all from his guidance.
Well, the results leave clues.
Yeah,
right?
and for me, like I'm just like, he's made it easy just the way he works. Somebody that's very experienced on how to do this. Again, I come from a whole different background, and all I wanted to do is let me follow the plan, and hopefully this works, right? Obviously, 6 months in, I'm like, damn, like this is pretty crazy, right? But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. If you guys made it to the end, thank you so much. I always say this, I'm grateful for everybody that's a subscriber that takes the time out of their day to watch a video of mine or watch us just sitting down talking about all this stuff, it means a lot. I'm grateful for everybody to take their time. Aaron, if you want to say anything else?
I think you pretty much just wrapped it up pretty well there, man. But I'll help anyone, guys. You don't feel like you have to be any kind of level to start. You don't have to know anything.
Yeah.
I know so many people that know a lot, but they just don't start. They never get the job done. And they have all of this information in their heads, and I'm like, doesn't matter. You're not putting it into practice. What you need is someone to help you actually get started, and someone to help you stay on track, and to have the right systems in place to get the job done. That's what I do. I am going to set up. Yeah. Maybe I'll do this actually for people who click or inquire for specifically via this video. I'm going to do. Someone else advised me to do this as well, because there's something magical about that 6-month number. That's when you know someone is seriously committed to changing shit. And like I said, you give me 6 months, I'll change your life. So I'm going to do a 6-month package, and that is it. You pay once, or you can pay in. There's payment systems in place that allow you to pay that in sections, if it's affordability wise. But there'll be a little questionnaire and a series of things involved, and there'll be a call with me to assess if you are a really good candidate for this, because you have to be at the right place in your life. You have to really want it. That's the main thing. You have to really, really want it. Like, I am committed to make this happen no matter what. For the next 6 months, I'm yours. Let's go. And I'm going to put a package together, and maybe we can do like a little discounted rate or something if you click via this video.
Beat maker.
The Malo, code Malo.
Nah, but
Code Mario. Yeah.
And last,
I want people to do this. I want people to experience what you've experienced, and I'm in a position now where I am taking on some more clients, not too many more, but only seriously committed clients. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna if you're really committed and you're like, do you know what? I'm gonna do this. 6 months. Commit for 6 months. Yeah. Let's go. That's
and because a lot of people DM me about this stuff, but if you guys do want to know, if you're somebody that is interested in knowing about TRT and all that stuff, do you you do all that stuff too? Obviously, like checking
everything.
Blood work.
I do just consultations.
Okay, because I had a lot of people reach out to me.
Yeah,
and they
I do just consultations.
Like,
people just want consultations. They're like, "Hey, I got my blood work done. I don't know what it means."
Yeah, if you guys want to know about peptides, like we didn't even get into peptides, but
yes, we're not even dabbling. What you using? One, you're using
Motzi and GLP-3.
So Retta. That's just like the Retta for the diet side. But that didn't go in from the start.
No, it didn't go in from the start. But
low dose, like halfway through.
Yeah,
but there's a billion videos on that
if you guys want to, because I had a lot of people asking me questions.
Just reach out. Just reach out and ask. You can hit me in my DMs.
This guy will go through the whole thing, check you out, and all that, which is helpful. Because again, there's a lot of people. I'm like, man, I want to know about that stuff, but like, I just don't have the time to do my research and all that.
Even if they did know about it, would they implement it in the right ways? So how about this? Skip all the questions. Just jump on board. Sign up. You will learn all of these things as you're doing it. Don't just learn about stuff and then not do it.
Yeah.
Make a decision, commit, get it done. I'll teach you everything else along the way. Simple as that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Much love. Make sure you guys check out Aaron Burke's channel. I'll leave a link to his channel. I mean, we're going to collaborate on this.
I think we can collaborate. Yeah, we're going to collaborate. Now, I think.
Yeah, so this actually will be on both of our channels. But obviously, if you're from my channel, you're checking him out. His link or his video will be, or his YouTube channel will be right here. So make sure you guys go ahead and check him out. He has tons of information on training videos. Yeah. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.